Welcome to day 2 of the English Speaking Success Challenge. This 5-day challenge is designed to help you create a solid understanding of what you need to do to have greater English speaking confidence. In day 1, we focused on creating your English world, basically immersion. Did you reflect on how you are doing in creating daily immersion? Have you done the speaking task? If not, do that first before going on to this video. Today, day 2, I'm going to introduce you to my CALM framework for speaking success. Let's jump right in. Okay, so this is my CALM framework for speaking success that I created in order to give a very simple but profound and useful framework for my clients to understand how they can work towards becoming calm and confident speakers. So, the first step I always ask my clients to consider is how are they cultivating calmness within their own life? Because you cannot put yourself into a stressful speaking situation and then reach for a sense of calm if you don't already understand what calmness feels like in your body and you haven't already cultivated a habit of creating that calmness. It won't be there for you to reach for. So the first step is a connection to yourself. So connect to your sense of calm and go within. That's really the first step. But also, you want to connect to others who can help you and who you can help. So, improving your speaking is really, ideally a community activity. You're working on your speaking and your listening skills at the same time. You are taking, brave action and moving forward. And if you can do that with other people who are doing the same thing, you not only help each other, but you inspire and empower each other. And it's something that is really impactful. So I would invite you to consider, first of all, how are you cultivating calm in your life? And then which community or communities will be able to help you and you will be able to contribute to as you go on the speaking journey. That's really your first step. And then, of course, you've got to take action. If you want to be a more confident speaker, you have to take action, but the right kind of action. And in order to take the right kind of action, ideally, you want to align your goals with your vision and values and know the difference between those before you start taking action. Of course, you've got to continually be learning things, but also have a review process that really works. There's nothing more disempowering than just continually setting goals that you don't reach. And so the way that you set goals, review them, and celebrate them, and how you intentionally go about that is really important for the level of success that you will have. And then I always ask people to focus on mastery of the small habit shifts. We're talking about small incremental changes that are deeply impactful instead of huge, great big changes that perhaps only last for a week or two. And then the last thing I'll say about this framework is that it is a cyclical process. So perhaps you go through this framework for one level of speaking mastery where perhaps you're wanting to feel more confident in group speaking practices. And once you've mastered that, you then go back to the beginning and think, okay, how can I cultivate calm within this new context of maybe going live or doing an interview or leading a meeting or giving a presentation? And you go through this process leading to mastery at a higher level. And so you're continually cycling through this framework, but just at higher and higher levels of speaking confidence. So that's the framework for you today. I would invite you to focus at the beginning on how can you cultivate a sense of calm in your life. And your challenge for today, for day 2 of the speaking challenge, is to do something that is quite simple but effective so that you can have a really positive experience of recording yourself. So here's your challenge. Record yourself speaking for between 1 to 3 minutes. Read out a short poem or a song, and then tell us what you love about the poem. So, or song if you go with the song. So I like to remind people that reading poems, songs, speeches, extracts from novels or articles, these things can be um, really beautiful practice, especially if you record yourself doing it, because it's a little bit simpler, but it's still very effective. So I'm going to show you my example of me reading out one of my poems and then explaining what I enjoy about it. When you do this, it doesn't have to be one of your own poems. So the writing poetry or writing in general is excellent for your English. It just needs to be something that you enjoy, a poem or a song that you appreciate in some way. So this poem is called Oh Dear. Sunday morning, and his pajamas are tucked into his tiny willies, and we pass hand in hand with the dog over the frozen mud ridges left from the neighbors' wild roaming cows who crossed the river when it was low last summer. Hello, river. Hello, trees. We love you, he says, as if it's the most normal thing in the world. And we stand beside the swirling water to look in the direction of the open fields and forest, and suddenly they appear. Hello, dear. We love you, he says, as if it's the most normal thing in the world. And it is. We have seen them often, but for the first time he doesn't say, oh dear, in a mistaken tone that used to make me laugh. And I ponder that in the passing of these phases that only I was ever witness to. And I realize he is not yet 3, and he knows the difference between a hawk and a pheasant and a swan, and they are each the most normal thing in the world and magnificent at the same time. And I realize in these ordinarily magnificent moments, the world slows, and I am living the dream as I would choose again and again to create it. And we head home for breakfast for toast that is no longer called bop. Okay, so hopefully you could see that I emphasized some words in that poem. I took pauses where I felt that they would be effective. And just those 2 things, emphasizing and taking pauses, that's a brilliant thing to do to improve your speaking confidence. So that's why I feel this task, although simple, can be really powerful. So that was my poem. I read it out. If I was going to tell you why I love this poem, it wouldn't be because I wrote it. It would be I love this poem because it reminds me of the way that I wanted to have a record of some of the things that my son used to say, but no longer says. So he's not 3 anymore. Time passes. He doesn't say some of these funny things anymore. He doesn't call toast bop because it makes a bop noise when it comes out in the machine. And I just wanted to record these phases and the words that he used to use. And I'm sure many parents can relate to wanting to have a memory of the phases that your child passes through. Okay, so that's my example of my poem and why I enjoy it. I would invite you to record yours. Thanks. Bye for now.